Hi, I'm Bailey, and I've studied international business at Leeds Becket University before, and also studied in Haarlem for 6 months as part of the course, which is in the Netherlands. So you can ask me about that if you like.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, tell us about the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands was great. I moved there in 2020. I think it was the February, so I think literally had a few weeks and then it was COVID, which obviously was awful for all of us, but we all lived in the same building, like all international students. So everyone was ringing me up saying, "When are you going to come back home?" I said, "I'm not coming back home," because we all got to have parties. Ooh. All got to have parties and still cook together. So it was a pretty blissful time, to be honest, instead of being in the UK for that.
So you were spent COVID in.
The whole time basically. Yeah, it was I think the February to the July of 2020.
Oh, that's scary though. Abroad, not able to see family or anything.
Do you know what? I loved it. I felt like I was in my element because we had someone from literally every single country. So a lot of the time we would like teach each other to cook like from our different home countries. We'd go out, we had like the beach 15 minutes away, like bike ride. So we'd go there. I think we had restrictions at one point. And it was like only one person from your household was allowed out, but that was only for like a few weeks. So the restrictions weren't that bad. So I didn't feel that scared personally, but obviously that was really different for a lot of people in the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And what about what's your favorite dish you learned? Because you mentioned that you were exchanging recipes and everything.
Ooh, favorite dish is probably that's a difficult one. Probably Korean, to be fair. It's like Korean barbecue. So they have this like glazed pork belly dish. I didn't even think I was gonna like pork belly, but I actually ended up really enjoying it. And it's just like in this spicy sauce that they do, and no one can kind of cook it like them. I've tried it since, and no one can cook it like my friends did, unfortunately.
Yeah. And what about going back to your university course? What's your favorite thing you learned there?
In international business, my favorite thing I learn, that's a difficult one. I don't know if I took in that much apart from really I think it was mainly the experience of being away and like being resilient in that way. That's what I learned from uni. I don't think I necessarily, that sounds bad, but I didn't really necessarily learn that much from the course because I did business since I was in high school. So I didn't necessarily learn anything that new. It was more about being resilient and learning from people across the world that I'd never met before, and never experienced the way that they live their lives.
Yeah, that's
They say that.
probably better life lessons than
Yeah, no, most definitely.
academics.
Yeah, for sure. In my opinion, anyway.
And what's the you got any funny stories that you could tell us from either university or that thing you did in New Zealand?
Oh, pressure. Funny story. I okay, well, it's not really that much of a funny story, but I refused to ride a bike when I was there, and obviously, you kind of have to ride a bike when you're there. I refused because I didn't want to. So I refused to ride a bike for 3 months, and then I ended up teaching my Korean mate who had never rode a bike before how to ride a bike. So that was an interesting one.
Irony of life.
Yeah, I guess so. She was we were in our 20s, so like yeah, I was teaching her at 20, I think she was 20 years old how to ride a bike for the first time. Yeah. So yeah, that was quite interesting. It was quite funny.
It'd be interesting to interview her to see what she says about her bike ride.
Do you know what? She got it down pretty quick. So
Oh yeah, that's good.
yeah.
That's thank you and hope you have a nice day.
Yeah, no, of course, thank you.